Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now, there seems to be a lot of issues and a lot of kickback from the Silver Surfer in the latest Fantastic Four movie being a female. This seems to couple in with the whole MCU Disney woke agenda stuff. However, I disagree in this case. And hopefully, in this case, if I'm correct, this could be potentially very good and very exciting for the franchise and how it's going to couple in with the MCU universe and, you know, future X-Men movies, the Doom movie, Secret Wars, and the rest of it. Let's take a look into this. Now, I think the first thing people need to take away from this is the female Silver Surfer wasn't created for the MCU. She's been around for a long time. In fact, she's been around for a very long time, since the early comics of the Fantastic Four. So she's been around for like 40, 50 years. So, you know, first there's that. So we need to get out the idea that MCU just randomly created her because they wanted some woke narrative. She's been around a long time. So just to touch on this comic book Vine thing, who is the female Silver Surfer? The Silver Surfer that people are most familiar with is original Norrin Radd version, which we see in the previous Fantastic Four movies. But he's not the only person to have wielded the power cosmic and driven the silver board. The Silver Surfer shown in the trailer is actually Shala Bao, Norrin's lover, who became Galactus's herald in order to protect. However, in the alternate world known as Earth 9997, in the comic book Earth X, Shala Bao herself becomes the Silver Surfer. I think that's the key point they're doing in this movie. I think this is an alternate Earth. I don't think it's the MCU Earth that we're used to. I think this is an alternate Earth, and it's going to transition into the regular Earth that we know from the movies. And I think this is all part of that, because they've already established in the recent Doctor Strange movie that there is alternate universes, and they even named them, said they've numbered them and everything. We know that's already existed and in place in the MCU universe. And I think they're doing this to bring them all in, to get them all into sort of one movie now, so they can go forward for things like Secret Wars, Doctor Doom, and then eventual Avengers movies in the future. They want to bring, because ideally now they've had Fantastic Four, they want to bring everything into the same MCU umbrella. Let's quickly go through the trailer now and see if we can pick out the bits that sort of highlight why I think this is an alternate universe and not the same universe that we're used to.
Wow, folks, we all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head off into space and come back forever changed.
This car?
Our city, our planet, owe a debt to these intrepid souls. And while we can never repay them, we can certainly celebrate them.
Thank you, Fantastic Four.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fantastic Four!
Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
So my first takeaway from this clip is it's set sort of in the past, in the 60s, as we all know. But I think the thing that's very clear in this is that they're the only heroes in this timeline. You notice they don't mention any other timelines, because there will be Captain America and stuff around in these times. They don't seem to mention any other superheroes, and there were around. They've already established that there were other people. So back in those timelines, so they don't seem to mention. These seem to be the definitive heroes and the only heroes, and they're absolutely like, because we would have heard the Fantastic Four in things like Captain America and things like that. There's been no mention of them, and I think that's the timeline they're trying to correct. But why has no one ever mentioned Fantastic Four before? I think this is what do it. So these are alternate Fantastic Four team set in their own universe, and they're the only heroes in this timeline. And I think there's no one else. So I think that's just keep that in mind, that there's no one else. There's the only heroes, and even as we will see the rest of the video, that they even sort of more or less confirm they're Earth's defenders, not the Avengers or any other people.
Herbie, how's that sauce looking? Okay. That's fantastic.
You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes, we are.
You late?
I just said that.
Are you pregnant?
What? You're gonna be the best mom in the world. And you are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. We are gonna be the best uncles ever.
We can do this. Nothing's going to change.
Now, this is very important. They mention Franklin Richards. Well, they don't mention Franklin Richards. They mention that she's pregnant. She's pregnant with Franklin Richards. Now, Franklin has a very close bond with Shala Bao, who's the Silver Surfer in this, the female Silver Surfer. Now, him, Charlebow and Galactus have a very strong connection. So it's very interesting that they're putting him straight into this movie, which shows, as I said, there could be a twist in the timeline into a different multiverse, or there could be something that goes on later in the movie that sort of progresses things much quicker than they had planned. Let's go into the next clip.
Are you the protectors of this world?
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death.
It's my fault. I stretched the bounds of space. And they hurt.
So as I said, in this clip, there's two key points. One, they admit that they are defenders of the Earth. But bear in mind, things like Ant-Man existed then, Captain America. There were other heroes who have never mentioned in Marvel universes because they just didn't put them in because they didn't know they was going to own Fantastic Four at the time. But they would have existed, but these guys have not referenced them either. So there's no reference between the two. That's why I think they're in alternate timelines. In addition, he says that he's messed with he's gone beyond the boundaries of space and stuff. Is he himself saying that he's discovered multiverses or timelines and stuff, and Z played about, and this is what's bringing about sort of this change or the attack on them? Does this have more to do with Franklin Richards, as I suggest?
Are we safe?
I don't know. There's not enough time.
I'm not giving up.
This clip's very interesting because, firstly, it looks like they're going somewhere. Now, if you remember in Avengers Endgame, they all got suited and booted when they've done their time travel. So are they going to do the similar thing? Are they jumping for the multiverse? Or are they going to space to fight Galactus? Now, also, the other thing, the reporter says, "Are we safe?" And he looks very sort of unsure. I don't know. And then later on in the clip, he says, "I was too late." Now, I wonder if this is suggested now that they mess up. Actually break, because also in the timeline, if you remember at the beginning of the clip, Franklin's not even born. They've only just, she's pregnant. But in the end, this clip, he's in a cot. So he's been born. So there must be a few months of a timeline there. So suggest, is this an alternate universe? Is he skipped forward, or do you see the birth and stuff during all this? But I think what they're alluding to is, I think they mess up. I think the Fantastic Four foul. And they either mess around with time or go into an alternate universe to try to correct the outcome of Galactus.
We will face this together. We will fight it together. As a family. Has to be us.
See, in these scenes, it's obviously the city's under attack from Galactus. This scenario, I think, is the scenario which they lose. I think there's a big battle, they're trying to defend it and stuff. And I think they foul. And I think that's what it goes back. I think some of the trailer in the middle is sort of the end of the movie, whereas this bit, I think, is nearer the beginning, where they sort of foul and they're sort of tasked to stop Galactus doing what he does. So that's my take, really, on the whole thing. I'd love to hear your opinion on it all. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's just going to be cut and paste? The Galactus comes down, tries to attack them, they stop him, the end? Or do you think it's going to time in the multiverse, as I suggest, and there's going to be some sort of change in sort of what's happening and things like that? Or do you have a completely different theory on the whole thing? Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoy this video. I've got some more content coming up now, going back to my reactions. I'll be doing a reaction on Daredevil Born Again series, and also Captain America Brave New World, and obviously all the MCU stuff coming up going forward. Hoping this makes a big change, and a lot of people still have some doubt because MCU did take a massive dip after Endgame. They did try to sort of push sort of more female gender, and just, I think they touched on far too many niche comics for some reason, which they didn't need to do. and sort of went off on a tangent in all sorts of places. I think they tried to do too many plots, and it doesn't always work out. I think there's too many stories. They should have kept with some. Just, I don't know. They made a bit of a hash about the whole thing. Hopefully now they're trying to bring it back and get it back to how it was originally, which is, as we all love fan Marvel movies. They're fantastic. So let me know your opinions below in the comments. Please sub, share and like. I'm going to show the rest of the trailer and leave it at that. So thank you all for watching, and goodbye for now.
We will protect you.